this year. The line has got some advantages. Downtown employees don't have to worry about what to do. Okay, they can get off the trains and go to work very short. That's an advantage. It's got the transfer capability at the Corona station going south. Cost, operating costs. It turns out operating cost is essentially proportional to the length of your line. There are some direct proportionality things and some indirect proportionality things. For example, the number of light rail vehicles you have, given a given operating level, determines the number of light rail vehicles. The maintenance of these things is very expensive. I have checked with the Calgary website, and the maintenance of the Calgary system for 2006 happens to be 2/3 of the total operating cost. Very expensive. The actual LRV operating cost for Calgary is about 45% of the total operating cost. Very expensive. We're talking millions of dollars. By virtue of having a short line, we can avoid approximately $200 million of operating costs over the lifetime of 30 years for the vehicles. And of course that would be ongoing. And I'll just point out, comes out of different budgets, so that's of interest. I want to speak about just a few things here. Downtown Edmonton, it's very slowly growing. We've got 60,000 employees as of basically this year, last year. 1961, it had 48,000 employees. So it's grown 12,000 employees in 25 years. And I just want to point out that that is begging the question, just how much LRT do we need in the first place? Okay. I also want to bring another thing, because everyone's saying not my backyard. I think it's incumbent on everyone to take a look at the flows for various activity centers, because we've got, let's say, University students that have got a flat flow, Shoppers got a flat flow, employees that have to get down to Edmonton, there's a peak flow. On this little chart, I put 24,000. That was just crude, assuming 2.5-hour window. If you actually use the transportation department's flows, it is 37,000. Okay, I have one last slide I just wanted to point out. We've got central Edmonton, and around it we've got the various regions like North Edmonton, West Edmonton. Turns out that most of the travel is actually not into central Edmonton at all. Okay, 85% of the workflow is not in central Edmonton. And I think it's very important to realize this, because any LRT system that we take into central Edmonton is not going to solve one of our big problems. We've got 300,000 vehicles rattling around the rest of the regions, and in 3.5 decades we'll have 600,000. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor Batty.
Thank you. You quoted some statistics and data, and I wondered if you could share with it. You quoted some statistics and data in your presentation,
yes,
and I wondered if you could share with us sort of succinctly where you get your data from.
Oh, okay. The Calgary operating budget, the Calgary Transit Centre system just publishes it.
And your data for the City of Edmonton that you use?
Oh, the City of Edmonton, the 48,000 comes from a paper that reports on some results of Walker and McDonald. They were early advocates of LRT. They did a presentation to the Transit Research Board at a conference in 1964.
Okay, thank you. But that's my next
that paper had the result of the 48,000 for the employees downtown.
Great, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. No further questions. Mike Cameron's next.
Good
evening, Your Worship, members of council. I really don't envy you your decision, but I absolutely support the necessity to have LRT expansion. I'm here tonight as a resident of Cloverdale, and I would propose that our community would prefer the Dawson Bridge crossing to the 98th Avenue crossing of the river. And I could speak tonight about our lack of notice that our community didn't have compared to some of the other communities.
Ms. Cameron, are you speaking on behalf of the community or just on behalf of yourself?
I'm sorry. I'm speaking on behalf of myself. I am the president of the league, but I'm not here in that capacity. So I could speak about the lack of notice, I could speak about the environmental impact, but actually the two things I would like to raise, one is the redevelopment criteria that was used, and the second is the location of the proposed station west of the Matart. So first of all, when I talked with transportation, they said the number one reason that our route got the go-ahead was because of the redevelopment opportunities. Now I think for the councillors who know Cloverdale, essentially we've been redeveloped. Those sites have been developed as multifamily. Both of the lines serve the quarters, which I think is really important for redevelopment. Both serve the Strathern project, which I think is important for redevelopment. But when you take a look at the two routes, actually the Dawson Bridge has more opportunities for redevelopment, so I don't understand the selection. The second concern I have is with respect to the station that's proposed west of Matart. Now, I've done research around the world about stations that are isolated. There are no homes near that station. There's no ability to have redevelopment near the station. I live right next to the Matart, and clearly there's not enough traffic to the Matart to really justify the station. So the fact that we've got no adjacent development, really no need for it in terms of the existing traffic, makes me think that people would drive to the station and there is no parking proposed. So likely that would put pressure on parking in Cloverdale. So for those reasons, I would much prefer to see the Dawson Bridge alternative, but absolutely support the necessity of an LRT line going south.
Thank you. No questions. Councillor Batty.
I have a question.
Councillor Batty, come on down, Ms. Cameron. Councillor Batty.
You commented about the other routes, so your concern would be that Cloverdale is really developed. I mean, I know along 98th Avenue that's all multifamily all the way along, and the houses that are in there have actually the majority of them have been redone or rebuilt over the last, revitalized, whatever the correct term is, over the last 10 years. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then crossing the river, we would still have to put some sort of a structure in place, whether it was in front, whether it was by that pedestrian bridge, or whether it was further, I guess that would be downstream.
You know, I didn't speak to that because I'm a person who really believes that just because you're going to be affected personally, you shouldn't speak. I mean, personally, I wouldn't want to see the bridge there. I think it would, be an environmental imposition. But on the other hand, it's got to cross someplace. So that's why I didn't speak to the bridge.
No, and that's fair. But there would be a substantial investment in a bridge, whether it was there or whether it was downstream. Is that correct?
Yes, and I understand that ours was not the cheapest alternative.
No, and then the station, the proposed station by the Matart, that's out sort of in the field, isn't it, in the park itself? It's on the west side of the Matart, not on the east side of the Matart.
That's correct.
And is there walking access from the community through there?
Yes, there is.
Are there trails, or I don't...
There's one that goes right around the road. So walking access would be all right, but it's just the fact that it would be isolated that would create safety issues.
Okay, that's fair. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Councillor Iverson.
Sorry, Ms. Cameron, just one more question. You had a concern about parasitic parking in the neighborhood?
Yes.
There is some level of parking restriction in Cloverdale now, or is that just seasonal around Folkfest?
Just around Folkfest.
Oh, okay.
And you notice even in the Matart parking lot, the only time it's full is during Teachers' Convention.
Because people go for a lovely walk through the river valley. Okay, good to know. But you're aware that, and so not to suggest that this would deal with all of the concerns that you've raised, but that around LRT stations on the South Line, we're implementing various parking schemes, as in around the university, as in downtown, as in around Commonwealth Stadium, to deal with well, to try to avert anyway as much as possible that parasitic parking practice.
Councillor, obviously I'm really aware of the opportunities of the restricted parking. Some of the disadvantages to communities is if you have